Elaine Terranova was born in 1939 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She earned a bachelor's degree in English from Temple University in 1961 and a master's of fine arts degree from Vermont Godward College in 1977. She is currently on the faculty in the creative writing program at Rutgers University. Terranova wrote her second collection of poems, Damages, in 1995. It received warm reviews in 1996. Whether in narrative or in lyric revelation, the poet assumes many voices, each telling of human longing and how it is answered. In her poem, Rush Hour, damages are the abused children fleeing with their courageous mother. Terranova wrote her second collection of poems, Damages, in 1995. It received warm reviews in 1996. Whether in narrative or in lyric revelation, the poet assumes many voices, each telling of human longing and how it is answered. In her poem, Rush Hour, damaged are the abused children fleeing with their mother. Rush Hour is an open forum type poem about a mother and her two young children who are commuting on a subway train during rush hour. The speaker is another passenger on the train who observes the family, all who appear to be victims of abuse. The poem uses imagery, symbolism, and denotation to convey its dark meaning. The speaker sets a tone that is very dark and dismal. This is demonstrated through the description of the little girl's actions. The little girl has not once moved or wants to touch her mother or wants to be touched. She is obviously detached from her mother. The abuse has clearly affected her and made her unable to relate normally to her family. Terranova illustrates domestic abuse using imagery. For example, the baby's scabbed face, the little girl's arm in a cast wearing a plain taffeta party dress, the mother wearing sunglasses so that no one can see her eyes, her body that sags and tenses at the same time. Furthermore, the dried blood on the baby's face questions the speaker. Also, sunglasses protect the eyes from the sun's harmful rays. When there is no sun around, wearing them makes you look like you're hiding something. This imagery supports the initial thought that domestic violence is taking place within this family. When the conductor asks the mother what happened to her daughter, the mother obviously comes up quick making an excuse by saying a dog bit her. He replies, "I hope the dog was put to sleep." The mother literally pleads it was an accident and they didn't mean to do it. And he didn't mean to do it, not that. Also, when the conductor asks the mother what happened to her daughter, the mother obviously comes up quick making an excuse by saying a dog bit her. He replies, "I hope the dog was put to sleep." The mother nearly pleads it was an accident and he didn't mean to do it, as though the mother was making the excuse for the abuser himself. Also, denotation is portrayed through the description of the baby's wound. It is described as being rosettes of blood. According to Webster's dictionary, anciently the rose was associated with secrecy, and by placing this rose on the baby's face, the author was denoting it as involving a secret. The secret is the hidden abuse in this family. The use of symbolism is emphasized at the end of the poem. The mother pulls her children close to her. The speaker suggests that maybe those arms that the mother is protecting her children with will begin a new type of protection away from the abuser. This type of endearment might be the beginning of concern for her children. This symbolizes hope for a new life for this battered family. Elaine Terranova's Damages is a poetry collection based on history and her observation, and includes poems of Lady Hamilton, Juana la Loca, a Spanish queen from Spain, and the unknown woman who is the subject of a famous Vermeer painting. These are some of the writers who have influenced her. The great literary Russian French, absurdist fiction writer Bartholomew, Leonard Michaels, Peter Handike, Walter Abish, the teacher she once had, and Cole Porter for rhyme, which she often does not do. Her honors and achievements include fellowships from the National Endowment for the Arts. Her poem, The Choice, from her collection Damages, was selected from the Poetry Society of America's Poetry in Motion. It has been selected to appear on buses and in subways throughout Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Damages was highly praised by Judy Clarence in Library Journal. Clarence called Terranova an exciting poet. who combines freshness of voice with rich attention to enter and alter reality. In Damages, Clarence asserted, "There's a remarkably vivid and engaging sense of awareness in each poem." Also, Susan Stewart reviewed that over many decades now, Elaine Terranova poems have opened the possibilities of perceiving, choosing, and concluding so consistently, and with subtly, I can't say this right. Also, Susan Stewart reviewed that over many decades now, Elaine Terranova's poems have opened the possibilities of perceiving, choosing, and concluding so consistently with the economy so much of her own. There is a dark energy to her art, a force of negation and silence that is carried along at once, cautiously and unconsciously. Dark poems may seek to romanticize sadness and depression, while other dark poems are simple poems about sad subjects such as Rush Hour. Some creative writers believe there is a certain romance in darkness and melancholy, and that there is something mysterious about that which is hidden and unknown. With writing poetry, there is power in words where they allow us to share our inner thoughts. Critics believe that Terranova was trying to create awareness of domestic violence while trying to capture the individual to acknowledge the damages of an abusive relationship in families. 1 in every 4 women will experience domestic violence in her lifetime. Each year, between 3 and 10 million children witness some form of domestic violence in their household, and nearly 3 out of 4 Americans know someone who's been abused. Domestic violence doesn't just affect the victim, it impacts everyone as a whole. Since 1995, Terranova and law students at the Rutgers School of Law have been associated with the Domestic Violence Awareness Group that provides shelters and helpful aid to the Camden County victims of domestic violence. They are committed to stopping the violence in their community and to educating the public about domestic violence. Literary critics do not know why Elaine Terranova wrote Rush Hour. However, they believe it commenced from the domestic crime that originated in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and somehow gave influence to establish the works for the poem Rush Hour. It also correlates with the other themes from her poems and Damages. One of Terranova's inspirations to writing is writing on trains. She writes poems or notes from conversations she hears around her. She observes strangers getting acquainted and even going deep into private lives, because they are seatmates on a short journey. From the world she sees outside those windows, she invents a new one throughout her poetry.